Hello, cats and kittens. Orewa Jose Yoroshko. It is Manga Monday, and I'm back in the Crisis Corner with my impressions of One Piece 1168, The Snows of Elbaf, and we finally get the reason for Harold's downfall. As the saying goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Dude, Harold was not he was well intentioned, but he was not the cat that needed to be king. It's like Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. Dude should have seen this coming a mile away. He should have known who he was getting in bed with and what they were going to do to him. But he was too naive. He was too guileless, and he fell into the world government's trap. And that's it. So things looked good at the beginning. He was up here barking about telling Elbaf about how things are going to be different. Now we're going to be part of the world government. We're going to benefit from this, that, and the other. He's going on with my man Saul about opening up the school for the kids, and the kids will be, I guess, more refined than the old school Elbaf, where it was just beat downs and giants and so forth. So from his standpoint, things were looking up, and the only thing that it cost him was he himself having to work for the world government. So he was kind of like a shield that was protecting his people for their benefit, and all he had to do was do the world government's dirty work, which he considered atoning for the sins of past Elbaf. Fair enough. And honestly, I mean, beating down on pirates is not such a bad thing. That's why he didn't want to throw in with rocks because, I mean, much as we love One Piece, it's a story about pirates and pirates are bad guys. So beating down on pirates for the world government really isn't that bad of a deal. But again, as I said in my last video, did he not go to Murajois and see the celestial dragons and see who he was getting in bed with? Did he not get any vibes off of the Gorosei? Did he not? Well, we see in this chapter he just meets Emo. That didn't go well. Anyway, sad part, but the inevitable part of the story, kind of in the middle, is where Ida dies, which we know Ida was a One Piece mom, so there was no chance that she was getting out of this flashback alive. One Piece moms do not live long. They're mourn, not, follow. They're not intricate to any story. Okay. But she dies quick, uh, relatively quick. She gets in some good, we see her final words and she was happy and then she dies. That's how Oda does. And, everybody has to mourn. Harold mourns. Uh, Harridan mourns, even Loki and locked up in jail, he mourns, it's sad. And sadder still is Harold meeting up with Emu. Now, just like Cobra, what was it? Cobra is not Cobra. What was it? The leader of what you call him? The leader of Elbaf, not Elbaf, not Dressrosa, what you call him? Where Vivian them at? I can't remember the name. Anyway, he got shot down because he saw Emu. He saw somebody sitting on the throne. And the minute that you see that, either you go all in or you die. Now, he decided he was going to go all in, and he got the mark of the abyss. He's thinking that was a good thing. He even felt the power rise up in him. Good, he feeling himself. But I'm telling you, he should have known all along, just the way that they were speaking to him. You know, you go and make the mark of the abyss in Elbaf, and then you're going to get your reward. I'd be like, yo, what is that reward going to be aside from the power that you just gave me with this mark? Matter of fact, what does that mark of the abyss do, and why do you need me to do it as a precursor to me getting whatever it is you say I deserve? He asked no questions. Dude just was like all in. Boom. All right, let's do this. But the story had to keep happening, so he had to be that guileless. He had to be that stupid. And he goes and he makes the mark of the abyss. And when he does, he tells them, "No, all that you're talking about, giants being kind-hearted and going to school and all of that. Nah, man, your people is going to be warriors. You're going to create a warrior force for us equal to or greater than the Marines. Get to it. So basically, they were going to be a minor league, not minor league really, but they were going to be a developmental league for this monstrous force that was going to sweep across the world and do the bidding um, of the world government, specifically Emu. All right, so by the time he figured it out, it was too late. And as we see later on, well, first of all, Emu seizes control of him and forces him to make the sign of the abyss or whatever. Um, Seizes control of his body, and he tries to get the guards to you know restrain him or whatever. We know that didn't work. So ultimately, it looks like the guards had to kill him to keep him from doing something. And Loki and my man with the sword in his head, they got there at the tail end of him getting stabbed up, likely to keep him from falling prey to the world government. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but we'll see that. Gerald, yeah. Uh, Loki and Gerald get there too late to save him, basically. But I mean, Harold comes to an ignominious end, basically because he was stupid. He accepted power uh, without asking questions, unconditionally, just accepted power for a noble reason. He did wanted to uplift his people. I give him that. So he was guileless. He wasn't a bad person, and he wasn't necessarily stupid, but what he did was on the back end stupid. And he didn't get what he deserved, but he had what was coming to him, if that makes sense. So we're going on break. It's just tidying up the loose ends at this point. How does Harold specifically meet his end? When we saw him being stabbed up, was that his guards putting him down to keep him from doing further harm at his request or at his demand? Or was that some shenanigans from Emu or what? And if the gods did kill him to keep him from going off, I'm kind of surprised because, Rock's getting, seized by Emu or whatever made him nigh impossible to stop, nigh invulnerable, crazy strong. I figure the same with Harold would be hard to stop, period. But given enough people, I suppose, yeah, you could get it done. I just want to see how is the specifics. We're just down to the minutia. How did he get put down, and how does Loki get perceived as being blamed for all of that damage? After that, we can go back to real time. We get out of the Inception, get to real time, and see if anything that we learned in any of these flashbacks can possibly help the Straw Hats save Elbath. In the end, that's all that really matters. And do they learn anything about hockey, about whatever that can help them get out of the current crisis? We shall see. But let me know what you think. Did you think that Harold was an idiot? Was he Ned Stark, basically? Pretty much think he was, but let me know your thoughts. We got a week until we find out what happens next. So get your theories and stuff in order. And until next time, stay loose.